Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where apparently audiences couldn't decide which is scarier, fantasy or reality. Yes, new release Nightcrawler, about the seedy underbelly of the local news, found surprisingly strong competition in Ouija, Hasbro's board game commercial from Blumhouse Productions. While most horror movies this year fell over 50% in their second weekends, Ouija impressed with a 45% hold, all thanks to perfect timing. It was the only fresh meat for Halloween weekend, as Annabelle was already 5 weeks old, and audiences clearly weren't interested in a Jigsaw reunion, as the 10th anniversary re-release missed the top 10 by a mile. And while the overall box office was down 40% on Friday, as moviegoing obviously wasn't a big part of anyone's Halloween plans, it still allowed for Ouija to win the day, and Saturday as well. In fact, many studios feel Ouija will win the weekend, but Open Road Films, who already had great success with Jake Gyllenhaal with End of Watch, are convinced a strong Sunday will put them on top. Nightcrawler, in an opportunistic move worthy of its main character, did hope to take advantage of being the weekend's only new wide release, but then it seems audiences don't love Gyllenhaal as much as Open Road does. Without Hugh Jackman at his side, Nightcrawler debuted with just half of Prisoner's opening haul, nor was it able to match End of Watch or Source Code. With hindsight being 20/20, maybe those quirky trailers should have worried less about coming across as cool and arty, and more about actually getting the story across. And while Lou Bloom does consider himself a survivor, he ain't got nothing on some of the other movies in the top 10. Fury, Gone Girl, and The Book of Life all enjoyed very impressive holds, but the lowest drop actually went to Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, which finally had an awesome day Saturday at the box office. I guess kids needed something to watch while they gorged on their spoils from the previous day. But the real winner was St. Vincent, which added another 270 theaters and actually went up 0.1%. Harvey Weinstein is convinced Bill Murray and company have a shot at Oscar, and with an underdog story like this, it just might. As for the weekend's losers, while John Wick fell 44% to 6th place in its second weekend, Nicole Kidman and Colin Firth took the cake with Before I Go to Sleep, which opened at number 14. That's a career worst for both actors, and while Firth has a chance of rebounding with Kingsman: The Secret Service, things seem to be only headed further downhill for Kidman with Paddington. In the specialty market, Birdman added another 181 theaters, which gave it an over 80% boost, indicating the awards contender still has some strong momentum. In comparison, Whiplash is expanding very slowly, but somewhat steadily, while Dear White People fell 40% in its third weekend. And while Daniel Radcliffe wowed the internet with his rapping abilities on Jimmy Fallon, there was considerably less interest in his latest film, Horns. Opening on a little over 100 screens, it delivered a per-theater average that's practically in hell itself, yet it has been available on demand since the beginning of October. Then overseas, China continued to flex some impressive box office muscle. In just under a month, China has contributed almost $100 million to Guardians of the Galaxy, while the second highest overseas gross for the Marvel film comes in at only half that from the UK with $47 million. Thanks to all that yen, Guardians of the Galaxy is now the second highest grossing film of the year worldwide, bested only by Transformers 4, whose plan of actively targeting Chinese audiences paid off. While Rocket Raccoon is unlikely to defeat Optimus Prime, the bounty hunter and his motley crew have certainly set a high bar for the rest of the year's blockbuster releases. And it seems China will also be good to Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who opened at number 1 there with $26.5 million, putting them currently at number 12 for the year so far. As for this coming weekend, things will finally heat up at the box office as the holiday movie season gets underway with Interstellar and Big Hero 6. Movies will need to make their money fast, as the hits and misses will just keep on coming. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.